Now we're going to make our final emitter follower circuit, and we have a couple cascading transistors right here. So the reason why, last video that we did was the PNP bipolar junction transistor. So I actually had a load coming from the positive supply to the emitter, but the main thing was the voltage at this point was the voltage that we set to the base here. Now remember, the trim pot can set a voltage anywhere from 10 volts to 0 volts in this circuit, but it cannot provide really any current because we got a lot of resistance there. So any load throws off its voltage. But we can give it as a signal to the base of, in this case, a PNP bipolar junction transistor. And at the emitter here, because there's a diode difference right there, we will set the voltage that we have at the base plus about 0.6, 0.7 volts approximately at that point. So we were able to power a load, and then the transistor took away whatever that voltage was. But in this case, we're just going to feed that to the base of an NPN bipolar junction transistor. So we got a pull-up resistor here, 10 kilo ohms, and sag value shouldn't really matter though. The transistor will hold the voltage at that point. So 10 kilo ohms will work good though. So now we come to the NPN bipolar junction transistor. We did this transistor a couple of videos ago. We got the same thing here, except for instead of the voltage going up a little, it goes down about 0.6, 0.7 volts. So if we got 5.6 volts there, then we'll probably have about 5 volts right there at the output there. We don't probably need this 10 kilo ohm resistor, but it's a good idea to have it. It helps hold that voltage when you have a tricky load. So I don't think this will be a tricky load, but still just a good idea to always add that. So now we're going to have that voltage across an LED. We'll be able to see it light up. Since we have the potential to go to 10 volts, we'll use a 510 ohm resistor to protect the LED. So now really quickly, we'll compare what we got on the board with the schematic. We got the trim pot, both ends right there to the power rail, and then the middle, that's the pin to the wiper where the arrow is pointed. That is coming across. So we will zoom in a little bit more, and that jumper for the wiper is coming to the middle pin of the 2N3906 right here. And so this is the flat side right there. You might not be able to see it, but in any case, that means up here is the emitter with the 10 kilo ohm resistor, the base to that jumper that goes to the trim pot wiper, and then the collector right there goes to ground, as you can see, like that. And then we got this little jumper that comes to the emitter and then to the base of the NPN bipolar junction transistor. So we'll zoom in there, and there you can see we got the base, the middle pin. So this is a 2N3904. It has the same pin layout, the emitter right there, but it's facing the other way. So now instead of the emitter being to the top, flat sides to the right, the emitter is at the bottom, base in the middle, collector on top. So you can see collector to the positive supply, and emitter to the 10 kilo ohm resistor that helps hold the voltage, and then our load, a 510 ohm resistor, long lead, the anode of the LED. That's what this side is. And we got the cathode going to ground right there. So the cathode is the dash. So now we're going to take voltage measurements, and we saw the circuit up close a couple of times, so we'll just stay zoomed back quite a bit. So first off, we got about 10 volts at the supply, pretty close to a spot on 10 volts right there. And now we're going to check the voltage across the load right there. I can go to any of these three components that come to that point. So it's about a little bit below 3.9. So main thing is we come to the trim pot, try not to short anything, but there again we got 3.9, so pretty close to exactly the same right there, just a tad bit different, a little more different than I expected. But in any case, here you can see we got about 4.5, and so now I'm going to adjust the trim pot, and we will go over here and see now we got about 6.3, so we're going to have about 7 right here, pretty close to 7. There we go. And then again about 6.3, may waver a little bit, but there you can see pretty close to spot on right there. So that's it for this circuit. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you check out one of the other videos that I'm posting. Always turn the multimeter off when you're done. Donate to Patreon if you can. I have links down in the description. but just watching videos helps out a ton. Thanks to everybody that does that. I will see you in the next video.